Dan Slott and Rachel Stott open up the universe to the Reckoning War as Reed Richards uses his newfound knowledge to help the heroes of Earth defend against the Badoon's assault, but using his power has some deadly unforeseen side effects, even to Reed. Dan Slott continues the Reckoning War saga with a rather exposition-filled issue that, while didn't progress our character's journey all that much, revealed a lot about the current state of the Marvel cosmic side and the chaos within it all. What I did find quite strange about this issue is that this event only has one tie-in to do with the Watcher, yet many of the things listed in this issue, like Silver Surfer's battle royale with all the other ex-heralds in Asgard, or the wars happening in the Spire with the Annihilation Wave, were all touted as if you could go and pick up a special tie-in issue and read it specifically about that event. But you won't be able to, being that this event has no actual tie-ins to it, which makes me worried that they're going to cram all of those sorts of things into this book and kind of take away from the main story. Time will tell what becomes of this event now that the exposition is hopefully out of the way, but thanks to what it is set up so far, what it is referencing in the greater Marvel history, and what it's building off of and towards, I do have high hopes. Rachel Stott joins the event with some really fantastically detailed action artwork, balancing out a lot of moving parts as well as the exposition that this book is just rife with, giving a really nice flow and feel to it all. Fantastic Four issue 40 was an exposition heavy issue that strangely set up a bunch of tie-ins that won't actually happen and in turn caused the plot to stagnate for a moment before dropping a rather big, if a little predictable cliffhanger. I'm going to give this issue a 6.5 out of 10. Fantastic Four issue 40 heads to Obscura Minor, a hidden world where the Rajlek live, but now it serves as a staging ground for the Reckoning. Wraith arrives, please someone alone is there to watch his return to his reality and the pain that will follow. He asks if the tied up being has anything to say, wondering why the silent watcher is remaining mute now since his vow to the Rajlek is over, now that they are all dead. He frees the watcher from his binds, reminding him he outpowers gods and all that binds them are their oaths. He tells the Watcher who he is and how his people are the reason his kind made their sacred pledge billions of years ago, all because he gave them the gift of cosmic fire, but instead of using it to cook and light the way, they use it to blaze their own path and become gods themselves. Wraith attacks the Watcher, burning him to ash with his power as he tells him that the Watchers won't fight or scream, which is why his victory is assured since he has none of their limits and none of their rivals. In New York, the Fantastic Four return home, with Sue wondering why they aren't checking on the kids, but Reed, thanks to his new power, knows that they are fine and the absorption of knowledge has given him insight and he knows what they really are fighting. The Thing thinks that they should help out their friends with the invasion in the city, but Reed wants to focus on the bigger picture since he thought of a number of ways to help their friends, asking Fury to join them. Ben isn't too happy, but Fury tells him to cut him some slack since he knows all about the power rattling around in Reed's head now, and it takes getting used to. The family meet with Alicia and the kids, with Franklin asking, with the moon gone, shouldn't they have huge waves and other things, but Val knows that would happen with a bigger moon, and getting rid of Earth's moon means that there are just no tides now, thinking that they should probably fix that and build a new moon. Reed thinks that's a good idea for after they save this plane of existence, as Alicia soon recognizes Nick Fury's voice, asking him where he's been. Nick tells her he's been dealing with space stuff, apologizing for not being fully off the radar and completely untraceable. He leaves to keep an eye on Reed, who is busy crafting some type of helmet, as he tells Alicia he's borrowing the device she can use to contact Silver Surfer. He begins working on it, improving its output as Sue tries to ask what he's doing, but Reed snaps at her, wondering if she consults him when she tries to change her hairstyle. He knows that they have all lost faith in him, and if his plan is to succeed, he needs them to believe in him, and to do that, he thinks returning to their classic costumes will have a calming effect on them and the rest of the world. Using the helmet, Reed connects with all of the heroes of Earth, giving them recommendations on how to fight the Badoon, having Iron Man hit the battle cruisers in specific areas and Captain America passing his shield to Vance Astrovic, since the Badoon share a deep-rooted psychological fear of when Vance Astro will rise up with the shield to destroy them. She-Hulk tells Reed that she knows what's happening since she has seen the Reckoning War and she is a big part of it. Reed tells her to get to the Baxter building as he finds Moon Knight laying on the ground, unable to get up since he's empowered destroyed by the god of the moon Khonshu, and the moon is dead. Reed reminds him he's also the god of vengeance, and Mark is his champion, so he needs to avenge Khonshu. Moon Knight knows that he's right, and he is the fist of Khonshu, getting up and attacking the alien invaders. Fury isn't happy he took advantage of a mentally imbalanced man, but Reed knows he could be the wild card that turns the tide in this battle. Sue doesn't think this is like Reed at all, and he knows it's not. He is vastly improved since there is no problem he cannot solve now. Johnny asks if that's the case, why doesn't he cure him of what Dr. Doom did to him, and he could reduce his powers back to normal, and Reed knows he could do that, but he won't, since right now he's the biggest weapon in his arsenal. Johnny's overpowered flames burn hot as he becomes angered, but Reed tells him the team is doing what he must since the stakes are unbelievably high now. Silver Surfer soon contacts Reed, knowing they must speak at once. At Camp Hammond, guards wonder why, if the moon exploded and aliens are invading, why are they still guarding the Omega Arsenal instead of using it? Suddenly the base is blown open by Dr. Doom, who demands that the distractions stand aside. He rips his way into the vault, proclaiming that he is the only one that stands between the universe and complete and utter destruction. Looking through the arsenal, he finds the temporal field he is looking for, knowing the item he seeks was placed 1 second out of sync with their timeline, finding it quite impressive. He takes the deadliest weapon presently on Earth, and now it will be the perfect bait for his trap. At the Baxter building, Silver Surfer shares what he has seen while gazing into eternity, showing them the Reckoning have armed all warlike races with Watcher level tech, leading to the Mechans attacking the Kree-Skrull Alliance, Annihilation Waves assaulting Spire, and the Morani have attacked the Shi'ar, and the Badoon are there on Earth. Surfer knows that this is just a small flicker of ember in a universe in flames. Reed thinks that it's all so clear now, confusing the others as he asks if Surfer can join them since he knows what to do next. Surfer however can't, since he is needed elsewhere, since the Herald's assault on Asgard has begun, and every living ex-Herald of Galactus is now fighting to unearth Galactus's remains on Asgard. Surfer wishes them good luck as Sue asks if he's helping Thor or the Heralds, but Silver Surfer blasts down to Asgard, telling Sue that he's going where the universe demands. Reed looks over the events happening throughout the galaxy, knowing it's meant to overwhelm them all and be sort of a smokescreen to hide the Reckoning's master plan. He proposes they go for the Shi'ar space and help the Imperial Guard to defend the Makran crystal. Johnny wants to help Spire since it's Sky's planet and they are facing an annihilation wave and they'll be slaughtered by it. Reed forbids him to leave, but Johnny doesn't care, speeding out of the lab and blowing up a Badoon cruiser as he leaves orbit to head for the Spire. Reed knows that Johnny is predictable, recruiting Jack of Hearts into the Fantastic Four. She-Hulk tells Jack that he doesn't need to do this, but Jack knows he does, since if Jennifer is involved in this, then so is he, and he's not letting her out of his sight. Reed begins doing something to Fury's hand, telling him that the enemies have Watcher level tech, which means that they could be looking in on them as they speak, so they need an edge against them, and luckily Fury is cloaked in materials that can hide him from even the Watcher's gaze, so Reed intends to incorporate that into an unstable molecule into Sue's uniform, needing Sue to stay invisible now, since she'll be his greatest secret asset in this war. Reed knows that he's been scaring her thanks to his power, but he can't stop thinking and seeing what's coming. Sue knows that scares him as well, knowing that he's terrified. Sue asks what he needs from her, so Reed kisses his wife, telling her to be brilliant as always as she turns invisible. Heading to the Forever Gate, Fury isn't sure that getting to the most secure planet will ever work, but Reed knows that with the Forever Gate it will get them where they need to go with the 3 jumps it has left. He says that he'll send Fury on his way and then teleport She-Hulk, Ben, Jack and himself to the Shi'ar planet. She-Hulk though knows that with doing both jumps there is only enough for one more jump after that, meaning it will either be Fury jumping back or the team. Fury knows this is the Reckoning War, so what makes them think that they are coming back from it as he steps through the gate? Reed says that he's leaving Franklin and Val in charge, wanting them to look after the others. Franklin knows he's got this, realizing now that all the times they were asked to be like babysitters, his parents were actually asking them to be like him and his mother, and that's some big shoes for him to fill. Reed knows that it's bigger than that, telling them that if the enemy get into the Baxter building, they are to enact the Protocol Zero. Ben says goodbye to Alicia and his kids as Alicia says that something feels very off about all of this. Ben assures her he's okay, knowing it'll be a quick trip and they'll be home for dinner. Elsewhere on the planet T-37X, the Watchers gather, thinking Uatu has done something again since it's always Uatu. The injured Uatu soon arrives, telling them that the time has come and he has come with a warning, knowing that their original sin, the reckoning have returned, and the Watchers must now go to war. The Fantastic Four meanwhile arrive in Shi'ar space, talking about the Makran crystal, but She-Hulk knows this can't be one since she's been to the Nexus. Reed knows that was one Nexus of many, and the difference here is that if this one gets destroyed, all of time and space would implode in on itself, but luckily it's guarded by the Imperial Guard. However, the team find they have been utterly defeated. The heroes soon spot a group of green-skinned warrior women with Watcher weapons killing their way through all of the people of the planet. Jack knows them to be the Morani, the only race stupid enough to invade the Watcher's world for their tech. She-Hulk asks if they are Hulks, being that she's never seen them before and they look exactly like her. Ben, however, knows that the woman warrior is Rapture, having seen her in the future that the Griever showed him when the villain showed them all of their deaths over and over again. He tells Reed that Rapture was the one who killed him, hoping Reed knows what to do. Reed knows they must do whatever it takes to win, even if the price is death. He apologizes to his friend, knowing his mind was never meant for all of this Watcher knowledge, and thanks to it, his brain and mind are melting down, and the knowledge will kill him in 3 days, and there is nothing no one can do about it.